Hi ho! Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to So You Think You're Iconic, Twilight Week, Day 3,
Day 3.
Eclipse,
We're halfway through it.
halfway.
Get excited.
I still have not started watching Breaking Dawn Part 1. I hate it that much. I will literally wait until the last second to watch it. Um, and
I
I've
think that I
watched,
think the most I've seen of that movie is like 2 minutes of the wedding.
I watched the entire movie in theaters
Oh,
and hated myself after.
yike.
That was the one and only Twilight movie I've seen in theaters.
Oh wow. I'm surprised you saw any of them.
I went with my cousin. She
Mm,
wanted to see it. She loved Twilight.
okay.
Never again. We
Well, now you get
coincidentally
to do it with me.
we coincidentally stopped hanging out after that. So what's been going on with you?
Not much.
Anything happened in the last 40 minutes?
Um, no.
No.
Not really. I mean, I finished eating my granola bar that I have from this morning.
Ooh, yum. Well, I was just going to mention that this week we exchanged Christmas gifts, and I
Yeah, we
got
did.
I got so many candles.
Yes. Also, I won't spoil one of my recommendations for this week, but one of my recommendations for this week is the candle from the beloved Bath and Body Works,
Our future sponsor.
our
Oh,
future sponsor.
yes.
Y'all guessed it, sweater weather candle.
Mm.
I was gifted one by the
Yes, she
dear
was.
co-host.
Did I
Thank
gift
you.
everyone one? Yes, I did.
Yes. Is it the best gift ever? Yes.
Will I be
It's a
buying
great.
more for their semi-annual sale? Yes, I will.
Yes. Will Bath and Body Works ever sponsor us?
Maybe so.
Maybe so.
But yeah, I got some great gifts. I got her a sweater weather candle,
Yeah.
a Mandalorian shirt,
Which I love, by the
sweater,
way.
whatever it was. I got some bath stuff. I got some stickers that I love.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
It was really good.
And then we got coffee that like made me feel nauseous. Yay!
Why?
I have no idea. I think I can't
Oh
do dairy anymore, sadly.
no. Oh,
I think I'm gonna have to stop doing dairy.
yeah. I mean, I stopped doing regular milk,
I mean I
but
usually don't do
I
no
I I cannot let go of cheese though.
same.
I have to have my
I
cheese.
love cheese. And vegan cheese just is not the same.
Vegan cheese does not melt, and that
Yeah,
concerns
that
me.
freaks me out. Yeah.
It concerns me. Like my auntie says that she has a cheese brand that like she swears it can melt, but I'm just like, mm-mm.
Is it the good dot? What is that one? And like the one that smells weird, but actually
One that's
kind of. There's one that smells weird. It kind of tastes like cheese. Like I guess, like it's a good substitute, I guess, but it
mm,
also does not melt.
oh
I don't remember the brand, but if they fix like the smell problem, I could probably do it.
yeah. Either the texture is weird or it's just not good.
Yeah,
Whoever makes vegan cheese, can you step your game up a little bit,
please. Because
please?
like the vegan ice cream and the vegan butter people are like killing you. Like
Yeah,
they're killing the game.
they're really killing the game. I haven't found a good yogurt yet, but I've heard that there's some good ones.
I'm not really a yogurt person, so it doesn't really matter to me. But
That's fair.
yeah, Ben and Jerry's, they have
Yeah.
great vegan ice creams.
Hmm.
I haven't used regular butter and I don't even know how long, unless it's for like something special, like if my mom makes mac and cheese.
Yeah, I
Otherwise,
don't even for mac and cheese I use vegan butter. Like I don't usually use regular butter unless like I get like IHOP or breakfast from somewhere.
yeah,
I use their like whipped butter because it's really good.
yeah. So maybe I'll go vegan. We'll see.
I'm vegan-ish.
I
Cheese, I
don't
won't.
I don't really like meat that much, so it doesn't
Mm,
really matter to me
true.
whether or not I have meat.
And I mean, they've made all of those new like vegetarian and vegan burgers taste and look like meat now.
Hmm.
I don't know the difference.
Do they?
Well, like
Uh,
my mom says they look super real to her, so
yeah.
I've never had meat before in my life.
I love when they're like, "This tastes exactly like meat," and then I eat it, and I'm like, "No, it doesn't." Like those Burger King commercials where they try to tell you that the Impossible Whopper, like you can't tell the
Oh,
difference.
yeah.
They're fucking lying.
I haven't had one yet.
I'm just telling you now, they're lying.
Okay.
Like I am a person who has had plenty of vegan meats and plenty of regular meats. Um, Anyone who has ever had meat can taste the difference. I'm so sorry. you're
And to us
not
who've never had meat before, we cannot tell.
you're not fooling anyone except for the people who have never had meat.
Sure. That's true.
But yeah. So I'm ready to talk about this movie. You know what we should do at the end of this week?
What?
We should rate them.
We really should.
We should rate them.
And we already know what team we're on, so we can't say that, but
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna rate them.
we will rate them.
Get your list right. I've had mine ready since the dawn of time. Like it's never changed. It's always been the same.
I think after watching Breaking Dawn Part 1, I'll know because I've seen Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Oh,
So then I'll rate them.
you'll know that Breaking Down Part 1 is the worst. Got it. Cool. Let's go.
I mean, this one is pretty low on my list right now. Eclipse is pretty low.
We'll talk about it in a couple.
We'll talk about it. Okay. Okay. So we start this movie with a guy walking out of a bar and walking into the night, and it's raining, and he bumps into something that's moving super fast. He is thrown against a window, and he's chased to a dock, and then he is bit. We then get a voiceover from Bella saying that people say the world will either end with fire or ice, and she's hoping for fire.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
We then see Bella and Edward in a flower field. And
Yeah. Why was he not shimmering? There was sunlight in that field. Why was he not shimmering?
Oh, you're right. He doesn't shimmer at the beginning or at the end of the movie.
Yeah. Did the VFX team get lazy? They were like, no.
We blew our budget. We can't make them sparkle.
They were like, the girls don't care.
Yeah. They're only here for how he looks anyway. They don't care if he sparkles or not.
Yeah.
So it's at this point that Edward asks Bella to marry him, and she counters by saying to change her first. And Edward compromises and says that if they get married, then he'll change her. She says, what?
Why does he believe in marriage? Like, he literally never dies. What's the point of a piece of paper?
I don't know. He does say that he is old-fashioned.
Which also makes no sense, but I'll talk about that later.
She then says that that is coercion. And girl, I thought you wanted to spend forever with him? Or is this still her old plan to just become a vampire?
I think she just wants to become a vampire.
Okay.
Honestly, does she even really care about Edward? Debatable.
Debatable. Very debatable, especially in this movie. She says that she's hesitant because people who are her age get married because of pregnancy, and that which is true, and that most marriages end because of divorce anyway. But Edward isn't deterred, and he's like, "Nah, I want to get married." And then she's like, "Okay, well, I got to be home by 4." So Bella gets home right at 4:00, and Charlie is waiting for her because she's still grounded from the last movie.
Which is weird. Like, why is she going out on dates if she's grounded?
Right, like the whole grounding thing.
Also,
I don't think Charlie's ever grounded her before, so
I'm thinking, yeah. And why does Charlie not like Edward? He seems to like all the other Cullens.
Yeah.
But he hates Edward for some reason, and it makes literally no.
Is it only the fact that he's dating his daughter?
See, I would think that, but then he keeps trying to push him onto other people. He's trying to push her onto other people. So I don't think it has anything to do with her dating anyone. He just doesn't like Edward for literally no reason.
You know what? He's a Team Jacob.
He's Team Jacob, same.
He's Team Jacob. Same. He's just straight up Team Jacob, and he's like, man, I hate this man. Which
Like,
Jacob?
I fucking hate this man.
I just want me and Billy to be buds, and our children to marry each other.
Yeah.
So Bella is grounded, but he says that he's willing to give back her freedom if she promises to see some of her other friends. And some other friends meaning Jacob. Team Jacob, there it is. Because Jacob's going through a tough time, like she was, and he was there to help her, so she should do the same for him. We see Bella trying to call Jacob, but it just goes straight to voicemail. We then learn through a voiceover that they haven't spoken in weeks, and it's because he hasn't given her the chance to see him. Bella then pulls out some old rumpled paper from her drawer. I don't know what that correlates to in this movie, but it has his name on it. And she takes it with her to probably go see Jacob, and she starts her truck, but it won't turn on. Edward then appears in her truck and tells her that she can't go see him. And he knows that she was going to go see him because of Alice.
That was literally probably the worst thing I've ever seen in this entire movie. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you mean I can't go see somebody? Right. And then you, like, break my car?
Right. He literally breaks something in her car when he could have just been like, hey, don't go see him. Like, you didn't have to break the car. That's a red flag.
Yes.
He says he doesn't want her to go because he's worried that they'll hurt her. And Bella says she'll be fine, and she's only has until grad to see any of her other friends before she turns, and Jacob hates her. And so Edward apologizes, and Bella just storms out. Next day, Bella and Edward sit together with Bella's quote-unquote friends as Jessica tries to write her grad speech. Alice and Jasper then show up saying that she's planning a grad party to celebrate. And Bella is just like, yeah, what happened last party?
Like, stop having parties at your house. Stop having parties.
Which, she's not wrong. And that immediately puts a damper on Alice, and then she gets a vision. Edward then drives Bella to the police station, and Bella asks Edward what Alice had seen, and Edward just says, she's just being weird. We then see two people talking to Charlie on the inside, and Bella wonders what's going on. So Edward reads the minds of the people on the inside and says that there have been missing or murdered people in Seattle for the last year, and that the two people in there are looking for their son.
Which I have to bring up from the first movie again. Why are they helping Seattle's police department? Like, what?
No, he's from Forks.
Is he?
Yeah.
What's that have to do with anything, though?
I think his parents filed his missing report.
In Forks, when he lived in Seattle? That makes no sense.
But I think they're just asking, like, I don't know. Maybe they're just asking Charlie to look around because they can't find him in Seattle.
Why the fuck would he be in Forks? And there's like 2 places in Forks he can go. He would not be missing.
I don't know.
See, no.
So Edward says that there's been a situation down in Seattle, and if it gets too big, the Volturi will have to launch an investigation. And Bella worries that if they come, that they'll find out that she's not human anymore. Well, she's still human.
She is human, yeah.
She's still human, but Edward tells her not to worry. Charlie comes out, and Edward goes to leave, but reminds Bella that she has a paid-for round-trip ticket to Florida to see her mom, and he reminds her to use it before grad. Charlie,
because her spoiler alert, her mother does not come to her graduation.
True, she doesn't.
I was very confused. I was like, really? You couldn't come down for one day to watch your daughter graduate?
Right. Like, you were her, like, only parent.
Yeah.
For years. And then you're not going to show up for her grad?
It didn't make
And
any sense to
and they
me.
don't explain it either.
No. I mean, anything they would have said wouldn't have made any sense to me. But
Probably.
yeah.
So Charlie agrees that it would be nice for Bella to see her mom. And then he finds out that there's a companion ticket and that Edward will be going down with them. And he's like, oh, well, maybe not.
Right? Why is Edward going?
Yeah, why is Edward going? It's Florida. Where is he going to hide?
Which is why I wrote this. Why is he in Florida and not glimmering? I'm convinced
Yeah, because he was straight up in the sunlight.
Yes, I'm convinced they forgot about this portion of the Twilight vampire lore when they were filming this movie.
They really did.
They just completely
they made a big show of it in the last movie, and then in this movie they're like, that's fine.
Right, like they could just stand wherever they want. No glimmering.
Right. So we get another voiceover from Bella, and she says that she wanted to see her mom and make sure she was living a good life. So they are together in Florida, and they're talking about colleges and how it's a lot more sunnier in Florida, and she's not going to get that if she goes to a university in Alaska. And her mom is like, "You're only going because of Edward," which is 100% true.
True.
And Renee is all like, her mom, Renee, she's like, I see how intense the relationship is between you guys. And she asks Bella if she's, thinking and making decisions for her life because, it's her life and she should live it how she wants to.
She's not.
And Bella kind of like doesn't answer. So Renee ends the conversation by saying she has a gift for her, and it's a quilt made of all the travel t-shirts from all the trips that they've gone on. And like Bella starts to feel like she's about to like really miss her mom, which come on now. Like you spend all of your life with your mom and have like a good relationship with her, and then you're just gonna leave her forever.
Yeah.
She's gonna outlive her mom.
I mean, she hopefully would have done that anyway, but yeah. Bad. So back in Forks, the Cullens are in the middle of the forest waiting for someone that Alice has seen, and it's Victoria. Oh my gosh,
they chase her until she goes onto the reservation, and the Cullens stay on their side, so they honor the treaty and think she's gotten away until the wolves show up and give chase, and then Victoria jumps between the sides until Emmett decides to chase her over the river onto the wolves' territory, and he's attacked by a wolf, and Victoria gets away.
I had a question.
Yes.
Or not, maybe not even a question. Maybe
a
little statement. Wouldn't it have been smarter for Edward to be there?
Yeah.
Like he literally reads minds. He would be able to be like, she's going left, she's going right, she's going left, she's going like, why?
Well, they actually do try to explain this away.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't make any sense.
Are you talking about like later on in the movie when they're like, we have to stay together? Yeah.
Yes, didn't make any sense.
Well, for y'all listening, they do explain why they can't be together, and like it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense at the same time.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it later.
So Bella and Edward show up for school, and they talk about the Florida trip and how Bella is really sad about having to leave. And Edward suggests that, maybe he doesn't turn her, and Bella accuses Edward of using the trip as like a reason for her not to be changed. And she's like, you are not changing my mind no matter what.
It's like, bitch, you just said you were having second thoughts. Calm down.
Right. Like he's literally just saying back to you what you just said you felt.
Yeah.
Like, take a second, reflect, and then say something. Edward then senses something and tells Bella to stay in the car, which she doesn't. And they see Jacob waiting at the entrance of the school for them.
His tan is much less severe in this movie.
Yes, it is.
Because like in like the first two, he was like ridiculously dark.
He was very dark.
They like calmed it down with this one.
Yeah. So Jacob asks about her trip, and Edward says he's making sure that Jacob is making sure that Bella is still human. Jacob then goes to warn Edward to stay off his land, and Bella is super surprised to find out that there was any interaction with them, and finds out that Emmett and Paul fought because of the chase with Victoria. Bella then makes a connection that her trip away was to protect her from Victoria and accuses Edward of not telling her the truth and truth behind wanting her to go. Bella then turns to ask why Jacob hasn't answered her calls, and he says he's got nothing to say to her and then walks away. She tries to go after him, but Edward stops her. Bella asks Edward to trust her, but he says it's Jacob he doesn't trust. But Bella leaves anyway with him. And didn't they just get to school?
Yes, they literally just got to school. She is literally steps away from the front door of the school, and then she skips school.
Right, and it's her senior year. She can't be skipping. Like, it's no big deal. Also, does Jacob go to school?
Seemingly no.
Seemingly no.
Because he just pops up at her school at like all hours of the day.
Yeah. So Bella goes with Jacob on his dirt bike. And they end up at Sam's house. And she's worried that the pack won't like her because of what happened last time. But they come out and greet her and saying that they're glad that she's here because Jacob's been moping out about her. We then meet a girl named Leah Clearwater, who comes out, and Bella learns that she's Harry's daughter. He died last movie. She tries to apologize, but it's brushed off. Yeah. Emily and Sam come out to meet her, and Sam says that they I don't know what he said here, but like I'm assuming that he's talking about Leah, because he's all like, you don't have to worry about her anymore, but they never say who the her is. Anyway, Bella learns from Jacob.
I thought they were talking about Victoria.
I don't know, because they I didn't really hear her, and from where I was watching, I couldn't put on subtitles.
I think they were talking about Victoria.
Okay, they were probably talking about Victoria. Bella learns from Jacob that Leah and Seth Clearwater are the newest members of the pack, and that Leah is the only like woman in the pack, and they phased after their dad's death. Since Seth is too young to be with the pack, Sam makes him stay home, while Leah gets to be out with the pack, and Jacob wishes it was Leah who stayed home instead because of the weird tension.
The reasoning for Seth staying home made absolutely no sense. He was like, he's too young, he's 15. I was like, you were 16 when you turned.
Well, it wasn't his decision anyway, it was Sam's.
Whatever.
But they did let
that 1 year Jacob made such a huge difference.
They let Jacob in when he was 16. So it's weird between them because Leah and Sam used to be together, but they broke up, and now he's with Emily, and now they have to deal with all that emotional turmoil via wolf telepathy. And they broke up because Sam had imprinted on Emily, so he had to leave Leah. Bella learns that imprinting is basically like finding your soulmate, and Bella asks if he's ever imprinted on anyone, and he says no. Bella then brings up that she's going to change into a vampire after graduation, which is in a month. And
time jump.
Time jump. And Jacob is upset that she won't be able to actually live out her life, and that he never got a chance to like be with her. Bella says it's her own choice, and that Jacob is saying that he'd rather have her dead than be with the Cullens. And then he feels bad and apologizes.
That sounds very abusive, but okay.
Later that night, there is somebody lurking around Bella's room, another vampire, and he goes through her stuff. He then goes down and hovers over Charlie, who's asleep on the couch.
Why did he not kill Charlie? Like, that made no sense to me.
Maybe it was because Victoria didn't have beef with Charlie.
That makes
But she has beef with Bella, so she could have just
still makes no sense.
Ended his life.
No sense.
So Bella eventually shows up at home, and Charlie makes a comment on how Edward is bringing her home a little too late, even though he said that her grounding was over. So
he just doesn't like Edward.
He just doesn't like Edward. But she says that she's been with Jacob, and he's A-okay.
Yeah, that's why I said he just doesn't like Edward.
There was then a knock at her door, and it's Edward, and he's saying how worried he was and that he was literally going to break the treaty just to check on her.
I'm like, dude, she literally spent months with Jacob. Like, he's not doing anything there.
Right. He then smells something off, and Bella's like, maybe it's just the wolf scent. And he's like, no, that's not it. I smell another vampire. Bella then goes and with Edward and ends up at the Cullens, and they discuss what to do now. And Alice says that it's not Victoria or the Volturi, and they decide to set up a protection detail for Bella. Rosalie is not having it, and Bella agrees. And she's like, you know what, I'll come up with something. So the next day we see Jacob and Bella together, and Edward is there to say how unhappy he is with this arrangement. So basically, the wolves and the vampires are going to work together to protect her. Jacob and Edward start to argue, but she puts a stop to it. Through another voiceover, we learn that Bella has gotten the vampires and wolves to work together to protect her. Next day, Edward drops off Bella with Jacob so he can go hunt.
He's wearing no shirt.
He's wearing no shirt. Still no shirt.
For no reason.
No reason. Edward then makes a show of kissing Bella before leaving. And then Jacob makes a show of hugging her.
It's just a bunch of pettiness. And
it was just so much pettiness, and I love it so much. And he asks Bella what she wants to do. And then Jacob suggests that they go to a party tonight. That night they show up, and Bella finds out that it's not really a party, but it's a council meeting. And Bella's unsure about going because Jacob says that they're talking about tribe history, and they don't usually do that with outsiders.
Which means she shouldn't be there.
She should not be there. But Jacob says it'll be fine, even though she'll be the first outsider ever to hear it. So then Bella meets Seth, and then they go down to sit at the meeting. Billy then starts talking about Quileute history, about how small the clan was, but they had this magic power that makes them shapeshift to protect their clan. They then talk about the first meeting between them and the Cold One, and how he was brought down, but fire was the only way to truly get rid of the vampire. Then there was fear in the tribe because they didn't know if another one was going to come along. And eventually a female Cold One came and took her anger out on the tribe. Taha Aki, the elder chief and the last shapeshifter since his son had died, goes after the woman, but is only able to take her down when a third wife stabs herself as a distraction, and she's the one who saved the tribe.
I have several questions about this tribe story.
Okay.
One, do they shapeshift into other things? Because he just said we had shape-shifting abilities. Can they turn into other things or only wolves? And is that like a genetic thing, an evolution thing, or is it just pure magic? Two, why did the wife stab herself in the stomach instead of just like cutting her hand? That made no sense to me. It never made sense to me. And
maybe it wasn't just to like distract him, but also like make Taha Aki mad, so like he could finally like.
His entire village was murdered. I'm pretty sure he was mad enough. Sure. And three, are they the only Native Americans that can turn into wolves, or can all Native Americans turn into wolves?
But if it's just a shape-shifting power, can any other
things?
Tribe turn into something else?
Like unicorns or leprechauns or
something?
I
was thinking like, oh, no leprechauns. No more leprechauns. I'm triggered. I don't know. Maybe it is just them, because not everyone in the Quileute tribe are werewolves. Maybe it's a genetic thing.
It's a genetic, okay.
Or I don't know, because like Jacob didn't even know he was turning until he turned.
Whatever.
Anyway. Billy and historian says that the Cold Ones are near and that something very bad is coming their way and that they all have to be prepared. We then see a bunch of vampires at a dock attacking people and changing them. And that gets put on the news and is starting to spread around Seattle that there is a lot of terror going on. And Jasper figures out that it's newborns, that they're creating an army of themselves.
Mm-hmm. So on that news report, the woman says that she thinks it's a mass murderer, serial killer or whatever. What serial killer is literally killing hundreds of people?
I don't know.
And then that also brings up the thing from like the first and the second movie. They realized that it was a human because human teeth marks on bodies. So what's going on in Forks? What's going on? How come there are animal attacks in Forks? And then you go to Seattle, they're like, yeah, this is
mass
obviously
murder.
A human.
Don't know. Maybe it's because of Carlisle.
Okay.
That's the only plausible-ish thing.
So like every 100 years when Carlisle is gone and then like stuff is actually happening in Forks, they're like, oh, human is doing this.
Humans. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe. So Carlisle starts to wonder how something this big has been going on without the Volturi's notice, and Edward says that they might be behind it. He says that he read Arrow's mind when they were together in the last movie, and that he wants Edward and Alice to join him, but he knows that they won't join unless their family is dead. And this army could solve it for him.
I have a question about their powers.
Mm-hmm.
Once one vampire gets a power, does like no other vampire get that power?
Oh, I don't know.
Because like they're so gung-ho, spoiler alert, on getting Alice. Because she can read the future.
Yeah.
Like they really want Alice. Like that's the one they really want. Are there no other vampires that can read the future? That can tell the future?
I guess not. If that theory is true, then not a lot of vampires have powers, but they make it seem like every vampire has powers.
Except for the Cullens. Only like 2 of them have powers.
Yeah, except for the Cullens.
Okay.
So Bella arrives back at home to find Charlie working on a missing persons case, and we see that the flyer says Riley on it. That's important.
Riley Bieber. I know it's beers, but like I was like Riley Bieber.
Bella then asks why the parents are still looking for their kid if he's been missing for over a year, and Charlie says if it were her, he wouldn't stop looking either.
Would he even start to be completed? Because like she leaves all the time and he never seems to like go looking.
I mean, he did search for her new moon.
Was he even searching for her?
Well, he had everything set up. He wasn't searching himself, but
it wasn't really like explicitly telling us that he was searching for her. He literally could have just been working.
True.
I'm pretty sure he's never looked for her when she went missing.
Aww. So that night, Edward and Bella are in her room, and she worries about what she'll say to her friends and family about why she will never see them in a month. And then Edward is an asshole.
He's such an asshole.
They'll be dead in a few decades anyway.
Yeah, they'll be dead in a few decades. Like, problem solved. That's probably the most psychotic thing I've ever heard him say.
Honestly, though. Like, he says some questionable things, but this is the one that's like, why would you say that? Like, that's just rude.
And he like says it with like a smile on his face.
Yeah. He's just like, they'll be dead anyway. Problem solved. It's okay.
They'll be dead. It's fine.
Just wait another, like, I don't know, 20, 30 years and they'll be
You'll
gone.
still have me.
Though. You'll still have me forever. Bella then asks why he's so against turning her. And this is such an old conversation at this point.
Yes.
He says, I don't know how he keeps coming up with different answers to the same question, but he does. He says that he knows the consequences to changing and that he doesn't want her to go through it, and that changing her would be selfish. Bella then says she won't be the same if he isn't with her, hinting at another downward spiral like the last movie. Unhealthy codependency. Let me hear you. Where you at?
Yeah.
The next day, Jacob and Bella are together, and she tells him that Alice is throwing a grad party and that he's invited, but she knows that he won't go because it's at the Collins. Jacob says he'd rather there be more time to explain her options and tell her the truth, but there isn't because she's going to be changed soon. So he tells her that he's in love with her and that he wants Bella to choose him instead.
Yeah, he's a pick-me.
Oh, yeah, he really is, isn't he? Oh, it makes me kind of sad. Bella then says that she thought he understood that they were just friends.
How?
How?
You kept giving him such mixed signals. How would he ever know that?
Right. Like, you literally almost kissed twice.
And at the end of the movie, of the last movie, you told him that you love him. So
right.
what's the truth, Bella?
Right. Tell us the truth. Why are you lying? Jacob says that he doesn't buy it and she feels something else for him, but she doesn't know it yet. He says he'll fight for her till her heart stops beating and that she might be heading into her decision to change a little too fast, which she 100% is.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob says she won't have to change for him or leave anyone if she were to choose him, and he has more to offer her than Edward. He then kisses Bella, but she pushes him off and tries to punch him, but she can't because he's super strong. I don't know. She punched him in the face, but he didn't react.
She's just weak as hell. Because she literally punched him and broke her hand.
Yeah.
How?
But like last movie, she slapped Paul in the face
and was
like
fine.
He actually recoiled and was fine.
Jacob like literally did not flinch when she punched him.
Yeah. Literally her hand flies to his face. Man does not move, does not breathe.
Oh, here's a
yeah, and then she's screaming her head off. So after that, Jacob drives Bella home and Edward shows up at the same time and they're about to fight, but Charlie sees it and fight.
Charlie notices something for once in his life.
For once in his life. Charlie has his moments. They're far and few between, but they're there. Charlie then asks what happened, and Jacob says that he kissed Bella and that she broke her hand after punching him in the face and that it was a misunderstanding. Bella is then taken to Carlisle and he says it's not broken but a sprain and wraps her arm. Emmett finds out that she got hurt from punching a werewolf and says that she'll be a strong newborn. Rosalie is then upset by the comment and walks out. Edward asks for updates on Victoria, and then Bella follows Rosalie outside. And Rosalie instantly shuts her down by saying, if you want to talk about the joy of turning into a newborn, then I don't want to hear it.
Right. She's like, I don't have time for this.
I really don't want to be here.
Like, I've been telling you for a year, you don't want this life.
Yeah. Bella then asks Rosalie why she hates her so much, and Rosalie's like, I don't hate you. She's like, I don't particularly like you either. But I do envy you. And Rosalie only envies her for the fact that Bella has the choice of getting to choose to be a vampire, unlike the rest of them. And she says even though she does have the choice of choosing, she is choosing wrong, even if her human life sucks. And Bella says that her life isn't miserable, but it's not perfect either. And Rosalie's like, well, mine was perfect.
She's like, well, I had a perfect life, girl.
I don't know about you, but... and how she said she dreamed of having a husband and a family and growing old and stuff like that. She says she met a man named Royce and she thought she was in love with him, but she was actually just in love with the idea of love. And on the night of her death, she said that she left her friend's house late and she runs into Royce and a group of his guys. And Royce brags about how pretty she is. And one of the guys is like, she'd look better with off her clothes. And so Royce is kind of like, take some clothes off, baby. And she's like, no. She's all like, you know what? I'll see you tomorrow when you're sober. And she tries to leave, but is brought back by Royce. And then him and his buddies just pounce on her.
Yes.
And they leave once they think that she's dead. But she is found by Carlisle because of how much blood there is, and then she's changed. Rosalie then gets her revenge by going after every single guy and leaving Royce for last, which, go off, girl.
We love psychological torture.
We love it. But she says that things got better for her after she met Emmett, but she still misses the possibility of moving forward and growing older. And Bella says she understands. She really does not.
She does not.
She really does not.
Rosalie's story is simultaneously heartbreaking and badass.
Yeah, 100%.
The theatrics of her killing those men is a level of petty I aspire to be to. She killed him in her wedding dress.
And she made him suffer for I don't know how long with the knowledge that she
probably weeks. I would have dragged it out for a year.
Dude, so would I. I would just show up and be like at the corner of his vision and be like, hey,
what's up?
What's up?
Just show up at his window every once in a while.
Right.
Like, I'm coming for you.
Right. He starts a new job, walk in immediately. Hi, I'm the new hire. Who are you? Bella says she understands, but she says that the only thing she's ever wanted in life was Edward, so she's okay with her decision. You're 18. You don't know what you want. Of a former 18-year-old, you don't know what you want.
Yeah, I still don't know what I want. So
I still don't know what I want. Rosalie says that she is still wrong and that she'll always want one thing after she's changed, and it's blood, which she's also right. We are then shown the newborn army in Seattle attacking people, and the leader, Riley, warns them that something big is coming for them if they keep killing mass people. They're already on the news.
Okay. What
I'm stopping you.
Yeah.
Another group of vampires are watching, and it turns out to be Jane and a group of other Volturi, and they wonder what to do next with the new vampires. One guy wants to consult Arrow, but Jane says that his thoughts are being monitored, so they'll have to make a decision for themselves to either end them or let them do what they've been created to do. We then see Bella and Edward at grad, and Jessica's giving her speech about how it's their time to live and make mistakes, and so that later in life they can know exactly what they want. Bella, I'm looking at you.
Mm-hmm. like that whole speech went in one ear and out the other.
It
like
really
she
did.
was not listening at all.
Like for a second, you think that the speech is getting to her because she kind of looks introspective, and then she looks at Edward and she's like, "No, it's fine."
Yeah,
I know exactly what it was. We then see the grad party, and Bella shows up and she's looking for someone when Jacob and his buddies show up. She then asks what he's doing here, and he says that he was invited, but she's like, the moment I punched you, it was your an invitation. What is that called?
What?
Like he was uninvited the moment he got punched in the face.
Yeah.
Jacob then apologizes for what happened, and he gives her a grad present, which is a wolf pendant on a bracelet. Mm-hmm. Alice then gets a vision of the newborns smelling a shirt that turns out to be Bella's. And when Bella goes to ask her, Jacob comes with her, and they both find out that the vampires are coming to Forks. The Cullens and Jacob and his crew hold a meeting about what to do with the newborns. Alice says that they'll be there in 4 days, and Riley is the one that's leading them. Jacob find out.
Okay, about that.
Yeah.
How do they not know that Victoria is making this army? Just because she isn't picking who is becoming a vampire doesn't mean anything, because it was her idea to make an army.
True. So
this whole thing of her having Riley pick people makes no sense.
And can't Alice just see the interactions between Victoria and Riley anyway? Like,
exactly. She see like they're still interacting with each other.
Yeah, like they have to interact with one another. Why didn't she see that?
I have no idea. It didn't make any sense to me. The entire time I was like, but Victoria, it's her army. Like,
her visions are only connected to plot.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else is just not there.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Because if Alice could see everything, then we wouldn't have any of these problems.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the training montage.
So Jacob finds out that there's a whole army coming up to get Bella and says that him and his pack are in. And how he made that decision without Sam, the actual alpha.
Right. I mean, I know he's the real alpha. Like he said, he's the real
Yeah, he
alpha.
says he's the real alpha.
But like he stepped down. So
yeah,
like
he literally stepped down.
it's
So,
not
like
his
once you step down from
decision.
being an alpha, you're not like alpha 2 or anything.
Yeah.
So Carlisle accepts their help, but Bella is hesitant because she doesn't want any of them to get hurt. And now she starts feeling remorse for both of those worlds coming together. The next day, the wolves and the vampires meet. The pack stay in their wolf forms to protect themselves, and Carl and Sam talk to each other through Edward as a translator. They learn from Jasper that the newborns are stronger than they are at the moment because they're the most strongest at like the first 7 months, and that the wolves have to stay away from getting themselves stuck in their arms and not to go for the obvious kill. That's what James said. Then there's a training montage with the Cullens while Jasper instructs them, and the wolves just
don't
watch.
do. Yeah, they don't do anything.
Jacob then goes to stand by Bella during this time, and Bella shows her concerns for him and his pack. At the end of the session, they all go their separate ways. Bella then asks Jasper what she can do to help because she's feeling very helpless.
And all of a sudden, he has this weird, terrible Southern accent that wasn't in any of the other movies.
And Jasper assures her that her presence will just be enough. Bella then asks how Jasper knows so much about this, and he shows Bella his arms that are covered in bite marks, and that he was a Confederate soldier.
Yeah, he was a fucking Texas. he was a fucking racist, and they try to give us this sob story, and I'm like, no.
No. This is on no level with Rosalie.
Okay. Maria should have killed him.
He said he was unstoppable in the Confederate army until he met a girl named Maria who turned him, and she put him in charge of her little newborn army, and so he would train them and stuff like that. But once the newborns hit their first year, he was supposed to get rid of them. He was in love with her, but she was just using him, and he got away. And once he met Alice, everything changed. Bella then has a nightmare about Maria and Jasper. I don't know why any of that.
/ Victoria, like it kept Victoria. It kept switching between being Maria and Victoria. I understand what it was trying to do, but it did it poorly.
Yeah, it did it very badly.
It was trying to make it so that Bella could understand that Victoria is like whispering in Riley's ear, but she doesn't really know who Riley is at this point.
And she doesn't. And then when both of them show up later in the movie, she does absolutely nothing. Edward's the one that makes the freaking connection.
Yeah. But okay.
So Bella wakes up from her nightmare, and Edward is there. Is he just there all the time now?
I think we mentioned this in the first one. He's always there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And Edward says, Bella tells Edward that Victoria is behind the newborn army. And Edward's like, you can't be serious because Alice would have seen it. We then see Riley bringing another human to be changed, and he is changed by Victoria. Ooh, she's behind the newborn army. No way.
Wow. Who saw that coming?
Not me. And certainly not Alice. Next day, Bella and Edward are leaving her house, and she tries to see if there's anything more she can do to help.
Which is exactly nothing.
Exactly nothing. Edward assures her that it'll be fine for them, but dangerous for her. But Bella's like, we'll be vulnerable apart, just like last time we both almost committed suicide. So Edward's like, you know what, you're right, let's just stay together. And decides to drop out of the fight.
Which was the dumbest thing they could have ever did, but okay.
All right. So Bella, Edward, and Jasper meet up with Jacob, and they tell him that Edward isn't going to be fighting because he's going to be taking Bella to a campsite somewhere. so that she's safe and that they are going to lure the vampires there. And so Jacob is supposed to take her because his scent covers hers. So he carried, I don't know why he's carrying her
I don't
right
either.
now.
I wonder how long they had to film this, how long he had to hold her.
A day.
A day?
A day.
A day of holding her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she only looks like she weighs like 95 pounds, but like still.
One of the movie facts said that like they had her in a cart.
A cart.
Like he was pushing her in a cart.
That would have been funny. I would have loved to have seen
in the middle of a forest.
I would have loved to have seen that.
But they're like, that doesn't look real, so
it would have gave the film some much needed humor.
It really would have. And so Taylor Lautner's like, no, it's fine. I'll just carry her. So he literally carried her around all day, and his arms were sore at the end of it.
I'm sure they were.
So Jacob takes Bella, and why she has to be carried, I don't know. Why she couldn't walk, I know.
Yeah, they could have just walked closely.
Really though. Bella. Jacob asks Bella if she's going to ask him not to fight too, and she's like, no, I'm not going to do that because I already know you're going to say no and you won't listen to me. He says he doesn't have a choice anyway because he let Sam be alpha, so now he has to take his direction. Why he had to sprinkle it in is maybe because he wants to flex his alpha male muscles, but anyway. He talks more about like decisions and hoping to get Bella to change her mind, but she says he'll just have to live with her decision. Jacob says that she can love more than one person at a time because he's seen it in Leah, Emily, and Sam, but he keeps himself in check. Bella then drives home, which doesn't that just obscure the whole follow my scent thing?
I mean, I don't know why they did that anyway, because they end up having to do it again. So I don't understand why they did it, but okay.
All right, go off, I guess. Bella drives home and finds Alice there talking to Charlie, and she says that she has a cover story for Bella for the fight that's going to happen. She says that the family is going camping and that her and Alice are going to have a sleepover, when in reality it'll just be Edward and Bella alone. And Bella goes in, and Charlie says that he likes Alice and only Alice out of all of the Cullens. Bella then asks her dad why he never remarried, and he's just like, I never met the right girl. And Bella thought it was because he didn't believe in marriage, but he still does. Charlie and her then try to have the sex talk with each other, and then it just gets awkward.
That's a great way to shut up your parents. She was just like, I'm a virgin, and he just shut up. And that's just a
he
great
really
way to
did.
shut them up.
He really did.
So if you're a teenager, the next time your mom or your dad's like, go take out the trash, be like, I'm a virgin. See how they react.
Right. Or they just like walk into your room unannounced. You're just like, hey,
I'm
Dad, I gotta tell you something right now.
I'm a virgin.
I hope you have a good day.
Yeah, have a nice day.
Have a nice day. So that night, Bella shows up at the Cullens, and she was clearly nervous to spend the night alone with Edward. Edward then like invites her in, and he gives her another charm to put on Jacob's bracelet gift to her. Which jealous much? Just let her have a gift, okay?
Yes, please.
He then takes her to his room, where there is now space for a bed out of nowhere, because his room was a shoebox in the first movie. And that bed looks like a queen bed. It looks huge. Bella then says that she wants to negotiate with Edward for the whole changing thing. She then tries to get Edward to sleep with her, but he says no because she might die if they do it.
Which isn't true.
She does live.
But like, why is he? That's not even why he's really reluctant. He's like, I'm old fashioned.
Yeah.
So he's like
he explains that after.
He's like, I don't want to have sex because I'm old fashioned. But that no sex before marriage thing is based off of religion. And does he seem like a religious person to you?
No, absolutely not.
You want to know what I think it is? At least because he can't get an erection because he has no blood flow. That's what it is. He can't get an erection. That's the only reason why he's been holding it. Oh,
Wait, then how does she get pregnant?
who knows? But also, while he's explaining this, you just know she's in the background. Like you could just hear in the background her just being like, "Don't wanna wait on it tonight. I want to get nasty."
What you waiting for?
Yeah, what you waiting
What
for?
you waiting for?
What you waiting for?
Wait on it tonight. I want to get nasty.
And he's like, "I can't do it because I have no erection."
Yeah, and then he's all like singing NASA in his head. I'd rather be alone tonight.
Okay, talk about the ring, please,
Yes,
please.
yes,
It's
yes.
hideous.
So, Edward says that he won't have sex with her because he's old-fashioned, and like he explains, like I would have courted you, and we would have done this, and like chaperones and tea. He explains it all, and then he asks her to marry him
For like the 5th time.
Yeah, which she actually accepts this time. Which I don't know what was different between this time and the first time he asked, but
That ugly ass ring.
Yeah,
it looked like an egg wrapped in tinfoil.
So she accepts the ring, and I think it's supposed to look impressive because it's so big, but it's literally just an oval with really tiny, like diamonds in it, like really tiny diamonds in it.
So ugly.
Like it doesn't look nice. It looks very cheap.
Yes.
And notice that Bella did not say that she loved the ring. She just
right. She's like, oh.
She just says, "Oh yeah, sure, let's get married." And then he
Thanks.
like puts it on a ring, and she's like, "Nice,
thanks."
Cool. We then see Riley and Victoria talking, and Victoria isn't going to come with them to fight the Cullens, but she warns Riley to be careful because of the powers that the Cullens have. There's only 2 people with powers.
Mm-hmm.
But Riley doesn't listen, and Victoria then plays the "I'm scared" and card, and Riley's like, "I'm gonna destroy them to protect you, blah blah blah. I'm a man." We then see Bella and Edward in the woods going to the campsite.
You missed the best part of that entire scene.
What?
He starts kissing her neck, and she looks like. Have you seen that? Have you seen that meme of that girl in the club and the guy is whispering in her ear and she looks bored as hell? Yeah. Like that's exactly what Victoria was doing. Like, are you done yet? Right. like, can I go home now?
Right. She's like, dang, I better watch what I say next time so this doesn't happen again because this sucks.
Maybe he'll die and I'll get lucky.
So Bella and Edward are in the woods going to the campsite, and Bella is just marking random things with her blood so that she can attract the newborns. Edward sees that she's not wearing her ring, and she says it's because she's afraid to lose it. And Edward's like, "Nah, you're lying. You just want to hide it from Jacob."
But like, you're in the middle of the forest. Why do you want her wearing a wedding ring?
Yeah, and you're about to go into battle, so like that's valid. But Bella says that she wants to tell Jacob after the battle so that he has like a clear head when he goes into fight. Jacob is suspicious of them, but Bella's just like, "No, don't worry about it." We then see Riley and his army getting ready, and they walk from Seattle to Forks underwater.
I mean, they don't need to breathe, so.
True, but wouldn't running on land be faster?
True.
Because they're literally walking.
Yeah, they like human speed walking.
Yeah, like no wonder it took them 4 days to get there. And we see Jacob carrying Bella to the camp spot. Jacob then says he's going to stay the night with them so that they have a connection to his pack. That night there's a snowstorm, and Bella is miserable, and there's nothing Edward can do. So Jacob
apparently they didn't look up the weather before they went camping.
No, right. But Alice told them that a storm would be coming too. Like, and none of them packed correctly.
Like they gave her a regular sleeping bag, like not like a Sub-Zero sleeping bag. They gave her a regular sleeping bag that
a very flimsy looking tent.
A flimsy looking tent.
I really don't know.
Oh. These are supposed
So
to be people from Washington.
yeah, yeah. So Jacob comes in from the snow and he's shirtless again. He's wearing shorts. Um, Jacob suggests that he warms her up, but Edward shoots it down immediately. And then he sees how miserable Bella is, and he's like, "Fine, you can just warm her up, whatever." So Jake cuddles up to Bella, and he's all like, "Maybe we should do skin to skin," and he's like, "No,
He's like, yeah, that's not
shut it
happening.
down." So Bella has eventually gone down to sleep, back to sleep, and Jacob is still warming her up. And Edward tells him to try and control his thoughts, and Jacob's like, "Get out of my head, bro," and says that Bella is in love with Edward, but like he also knows that she's in love with him, but she won't admit it to herself. Edward can't tell if he's right, and Jacob's like, if she would choose me, would you kill me? And Edward's like, nah, I won't do that because that would make Bella sad. Um, Jacob then asks why he hasn't changed her mind about changing, and Edward's like, I did leave. And Jacob's like, yeah, and then you came back the moment you saw her the first time, and that's the moment she was like, you know what, I'm ready to move on. And you're like, nah, I still love you. Like, Jacob's like, you really didn't try, bro. And he's like, with 6 more months, I would have been able to get her with me. And Edward's like, yeah, you could protect her better and offer her a better lifestyle. Um, and then Jacob's like, how did you deal with her being dead? And Edward's like, well, I was about to kill myself,
He's
so
like, I tried to kill myself. That's how I dealt with
not
it.
great. They then accept that they are natural enemies because vampire and werewolf, whatever, but they're also rivals for Bella. It's the next day, and Bella is wearing jeans and a flannel
Yeah. And
in
there's
the middle.
snow everywhere.
There's snow everywhere. Like, I understand why Jacob is wearing just a button
this,
up,
this is
but
why she
like,
was freaking freezing.
this is why she didn't dress appropriately at all. So Seth comes to check on Bella and Edward, and we find out that Jacob is checking the area before he leaves. Jacob walks up on Edward and Bella talking about their marriage, and he storms off. And Bella's like, "You know, you did that because he was there." And Edward's
Edward
like,
did that on
"Yeah,
purpose. He
yeah."
is
Edward,
petty as hell for that.
oh heck yeah, and
And you know he did it because he was making valid points last night.
he really
You know
was.
that's why he did it.
He's literally like, "I need to step up on this guy. How do I do that? How do I do
You're right.
that?
How do I one up him?
How do I?" He felt himself losing his grip on Bella, and he's like, dang, I can't get him with logic, so I might as well get him with emotion.
Right? Better go get him to kill himself. Let's do it.
One less problem on my plate, yo. Let's
Yeah.
go.
She'll get over it.
So Bella goes after Jacob, and Edward tries to stop her, but she goes anyway. Jacob now says that he's going off to battle to kill something or be killed. And Bella tries to stop him. He's like, give me one reason to stay. And she's all like, I don't want you to get hurt. And he's like, do better.
Do better.
And then she's like, I don't want you to die, and I don't want to lose you. And he's like, better, but not good enough. She then asks Jacob to kiss her, and he does.
Emotional manipulation.
Emotional manipulation. Also, cheating. She's engaged.
Brady said, "At least it's better than kissing an icicle." and I was like,
That guy is hot. He then says he's going to go to the battle anyway, but he'll be back for her. Bella goes back to Edward, and he knows what happened between them because he says that Jacob's thoughts are way too loud right now. How far can he hear people's thoughts?
Apparently from very far away, because Jacob literally goes down to the battle and he could still hear his thoughts.
Yeah. Also, like, he was maybe like a quarter of the way down the mountain.
Yeah.
What?
They're so far up in the mountains that they're covered in snow, and there's absolutely no snow where everyone else is.
Mm-hmm. Edward knows that Bella loves him, but she also loves Jacob. And she's all like, no, but I love you more. Seth then comes by and says that the battle is about to start. We then see the newborn army racing toward the scent of Bella, and the Cullen family waits for them. The fight then begins, and after a while, the wolves jump in to fight as well. Victoria sees what's going on from the sidelines and runs to find Edward and Bella.
Because
Jacob.
Edward is literally never 20 steps away from Bella.
True.
Any idiot would have been able to find Bella.
True. Jacob then joins the fight. The Cullens and the wolves are straight up wrecking the vampires.
Because they had no like formation or anything. They just
They
started
really
like
didn't.
running towards them at like
really
different angles and then like not doing anything. Like they were like one-on-one attacking people. And I was like, there's like 50 of you.
I know. Carlisle and Esme come upon a young girl in the army and hesitate to kill her. Edward then sends his Victoria on her way, and he sends Seth like away to, I don't know, do something.
Go look for her, I guess.
Because like he comes back.
Yeah.
So Riley and Victoria show up at the campsite. Edward then tells Riley about Victoria's thoughts and tries to deter him from attacking. And Victoria is trying to keep up her lies with Riley, and it works. So he goes to attack, but Seth like comes out of nowhere and says to fight him instead.
Riley loses his arm 0.5 seconds after starting a fight. Like, Edward's like, you don't want this smoke. And like,
you really don't.
And Riley's like, bet, and goes after him. And then immediately he puts up his arm to like go punch him and he gets bit off. Like, come on, dude.
Like, you knew you were not prepared for this, but you were just ready to die anyway.
Yeah.
And then you're going to complain about it like when you're getting dragged off to die by Seth later.
Yeah.
Like, come on. So Victoria goes to run toward Edward and baits her to attack with saying what he would do to James, what he did to James. And
which he did nothing to James.
He really didn't, though. It was Emmett and Jasper.
He's the only
literally ripped him limb from limb.
He's the only person in the family who didn't do anything to James.
Right. So Victoria attacks in a blind rage. Riley kicks off Seth and tries to go help Victoria. Edward is then taken over by both of them, but Bella cuts herself to distract them. And
the proper way. She cuts her arm instead of stabbing herself in the stomach like a crazy person.
Yes. Edward then kills Victoria, and I assume Seth has also dealt with Riley because we never see that happen.
Yeah, he does. And it's so funny to me because Seth is like, Victoria, help me. And Victoria's like, no.
yeah. Riley's like, please. And she's like,
he really thought that she cared about him when she literally killed him.
Right.
Come on.
Seth then tells Edward that Alice needs them both at the battlefield. So they go down to see what's going on. Alice then sees a vision of Jane and her group coming toward them and that they only have a few minutes. Edward and Bella arrive as they start to burn the vampire bodies. There's one more vampire on the field, and Leah goes to attack but is almost killed. So Jacob
How did they miss him?
I don't know. Also, if he was hiding that whole time, why was he not so easy to kill? That too. So Jacob comes to help Leah, and he is badly injured and goes back to his human form while I'm assuming Sam and Paul go in for the kill. Bella then races to Jacob's side, and Carlisle says that he's very badly injured, but the pack has to move quickly because the Volturi are coming. So they take Jacob to Billy's house. Jane and her group arrive and are impressed by how they were able to survive from such a big attack. Jane notices that a young girl has survived, and it's only because Carlisle and Esme took her surrender in exchange for asylum. Jane then uses her powers on the young girl for information, but Esme's like, yo, she'll just tell you whatever you want. She's like I knew that.
Like, can you ask her first?
Right. And then she like asks the question, and the girl is immediately just spilling the tea.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know shit.
Right. The girl basically says that Riley was the one who changed them, but she doesn't know who Riley was working for. And Edward accuses the Volturi of working with Victoria, but Carlisle's like, nah, dude, don't. Stop. Stop.
Like, shut your whore mouth.
Right.
Like,
right.
Shut up.
Jane then sends Felix to kill the girl, but the Cullens say they'll help her, but Felix kills her anyway.
Yeah, because the Volturi don't give second chances. And that is now my stance. I don't give second chances either.
Jane then notices that Bella is still a human, and both of them are quickly like, no, I'm going to be changed. We have a date. And she's like,
Right. She's like, okay.
sure.
Okay.
I bet. That night, Bella races over to Billy's house to check up on Jacob, and when she gets there, he's screaming in agony, and then Carlisle comes out, and he's all like, yeah, I had to re-break his bones so that they heal properly, and he's on morphine right now, so he's in a lot of pain. Leah is still on her BS that she could have had that vampire.
Right. He was
She
going to
shut
kill
down
her
quickly. She
Right.
really was.
They're like, if you don't shut up, like he almost
Right.
killed you.
We were all there. We saw what happened. So Carlisle exits the house with Sam, and he's like, he's fine right now, but he's in a lot of pain. Bella then goes in to see Jacob, and he tells her that he was worried for her after they kissed because of what Edward.
Ella. Who's Ella?
What Edward might think, but everything worked out. Jacob then accepts that Bella's feelings don't exactly match his, even though they would have made a really good couple. Bella
amazing couple.
Bella then offers to come back later, but he says he needs time, but he says he'll wait for her forever. We then see Bella and Edward in the flower field from the beginning of the movie, and they're talking about their wedding date. That's on August 13th.
Is there some sort of like symbolism with that field? Because it's literally in every movie.
I really don't know.
I get it's like their place, but like, why do we have to go there every movie?
And why is it always sunny?
And he's never glimmering.
And he's never glimmering.
Yeah. I don't think any vampires glimmer in this entire movie.
Yeah, I think he's what if he's like the odd man out? What if he's the only one that sparkles? Like every other vampire will like burst into flames, but he's the only one that sparkles.
Oh, that'd be great. His special power is he doesn't burn himself.
Edward says that there's no rush, but Bella really wants her life with him to start. So she's like, we're going to stick with our August 13th date. Alice is their wedding planner, and Edward's like, she's going to go all out. And Bella's like, I don't really care as long as it really just happens. Edward says that she's giving up a lot for like a life with him. And she's all like, I'm not giving up a lot. I'm just choosing between who I should be and who I am. And I'm like, who you should be? Like, shouldn't you want to be who you should be because that's better than who you are right now? And that was like her whole thing between picking Edward and Jacob. And I'm like, that does not stand up in court, ma'am.
Who knows?
She says that she's never felt normal or like in step with her regular life, but she feels
because she doesn't even try.
She really doesn't though. Like all of her friends in high school, like they really tried to be her friend.
And she just was not reciprocating
and she gave
at all.
The bare minimum. Like she put zero effort into all of that.
Yeah.
But Bella does say that she feels stronger in like the vampire world and more of herself. And
how does she know?
How does she? Yeah, she's a human in a vampire world. Like, girl. Bella says that there is one more dangerous thing to do before their wedding, and it's to tell Charlie about it. And honestly, yeah, because like, what is it? June? She just graduated. It's June, and she's getting married in what, a little over a month.
Yeah. Oh, he's not going to be happy.
No, he's not. She then finally accepts the wedding ring from. Oh wow, I was about to say Jacob.
I wish.
I wish at this point. She finally accepts the wedding ring from Edward, and that's where the movie ends.
Yay.
Okay. Movie facts. Do you want to guess who was considered to play Riley?
Riley?
Yeah.
Give me a hint.
He's been in dancing movies.
Ew, Channing Tatum?
Yes!
Didn't I just say Channing Tatum for like Edward in the first one?
I think you did.
Why in the world would he even think? Well, he did do that god awful G.I. Joe movie, so like maybe
that is also true. And then the other one. Do you want to guess?
Other one. Okay, so
There was one more considered.
If they were going Channing Tatum route, let's see.
Actually, this guy is actually total opposite.
Like he's like nerdy and like not conventionally attractive, or like what?
I mean, in like role wise.
Like he's like a serious actor?
No. Like build type and like type of movie. Total opposite.
Okay. Let's see.
He's not American.
He's not American.
He's been in another big book series to movie.
That other Hemsworth?
No.
No? Okay. Josh Hutcherson?
No.
Theo James?
No. He's in a big movie series.
Daniel, what's his name from Harry Potter?
Radcliffe?
Yes.
No, but close. Tom Felton.
Ew, why?
I know.
That would have been awful.
I really don't know.
Happy that didn't happen.
Do you want to guess who auditioned for the part of Leah Clearwater?
I don't know many Native American actresses, so you're just gonna have to tell me.
She's not.
How is she not? I literally just said in the
I know,
last
but
episode.
she's not. I don't think they brought this into to this movie.
Is it a white person?
Or
or an Asian person?
Not Asian.
Like I could see them trying to pass off like a Filipino person as a Native American. So it's a white person.
Yes. You want a hint?
Sure.
We're all in this together.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Who was her pale ass gonna fool?
Wait, who do you think it is?
Vanessa Hudgens,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, who was her pale ass gonna fool?
Don't know.
I can barely tell she's Hispanic.
Right.
So you think I'm gonna be able to fall for her being Native American? And I'm supposed to believe
they clearly did not keep the whole prove you're Native American for this role.
Honestly.
Not for her.
And I'm supposed to believe she's tough. Like she has like a super high-pitched voice.
Right. I mean, Leah Clearwater does not get a lot in this movie. She gets like 2 scenes together. But like even then, Vanessa Hudgens would not have been.
No.
Not have been it.
Whoever even suggested that should have been fired.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Like if let's say I'm the casting agent and her like agent like sent me an email like, hey, can Vanessa audition for this role? I would have just started laughing. Like, no.
You just send back a voice memo of you just dying of laughter.
Yeah, like, sir, what are you talking about?
Are we watching the same movie? Like, did you not hear what our criteria was for the last movie?
She was like, I know these movies are bad, but they're not that bad. Like, come on.
Okay. Kristen Stewart had to wear a wig in this movie.
Why?
Because she cut her hair short for The Runaways.
Never seen The Runaways.
Me neither. The actor who plays Emmett accidentally punched the actor who plays Jasper in the head while they were rehearsing one of the fight scenes. And like he had to take
that man is
time
huge.
off of work. Yeah.
That man is because that man is huge.
I'm like, bruh, I wonder if he got a concussion just by being decked.
He probably got a concussion.
Because they didn't say, but they're like, yeah, he had to take some time off. I'm like, yeah, that man was probably wrecked.
Because Emmett is like, he looks like he's like 240 pounds, and if he punched you, you would.
And then Jasper is like
out.
maybe 100, dripping wet.
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore almost was going to direct this movie.
Why?
I don't know.
Does she direct stuff?
Yeah, apparently she does.
Please hold. I need to do some research.
Didn't she do Santa Clarita?
I don't know. I'm putting in elevator music right now. Let's do
Okay.
this. She's directed one movie, Whip It. Do I know what that?
Oh, she's been executive producer and producer.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything. Being an executive producer. Oh
She
my
was
gosh, she did
producer.
Animal. I love that terrible movie. We need to do that movie. You're gonna hate it, but we're gonna do that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, she's only directed Whip It.
She was on. Oh wait, no, never mind. I thought that said Grey's Anatomy.
She was not in Grey's
It said
Anatomy.
Grey Gardens. Wow. Okay. All right.
Good
Great.
to know.
So in this movie, going back to the movie facts, we learn that Jasper is part of the Confederate Army.
Trash.
Stephanie Meyer actually picked Jasper's name by going through roll calls for the Confederate Army and picking out his name that way.
Okay.
Why she wanted it to be super authentic.
Why she chose the Confederate Army, I'll never understand.
Right. Or we do understand.
Next. Next.
Okay, so iconic, not?
Absolutely not. These movies are not good. This
I'm not about this one.
I'm going to spoil my ranking. This is the best out of the Twilight films to me, but it's the best out of a bunch of bad movies. So, like, what does that mean?
True. It doesn't mean a lot.
It does not mean anything. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, this movie is not iconic for me.
It's not iconic at all.
Halfway through, I was just like, ooh, how much more time do I have?
Yeah.
And then I get to the action, and then it lasts for 20 minutes. Tops.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, great. Now we're back to pick me.
At least the action in this film, was actual action. The action in Breaking Dawn Part 2 pissed me off so much.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll talk about that in the episode.
Yes, we will.
So, yeah, not iconic.
Not at all.
0 out of 10, don't recommend.
I feel like this is just a continuation of, New Moon, and then just, 20 minutes of new stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Because Victoria is still the main person. The Volturi are still involved.
At least they gave Victoria something to do in this movie. It was not much at all, but they gave her something.
She had, 2 major scenes where she actually talked?
Yep.
And that's it.
That's it. The only other times you saw her, she was either a blur or she bit a man, and then that was it.
Or she's just running.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing else.
Okay, let's move on to some happier things.
Yes.
What are your recommendations, if you have any?
So I already said what one of my recommendations was at the beginning of the episode, but we're going to say it one more time. Sweater Weather Candle, Bath and Body Works.
Yes.
Do it. Buy one. Semi-annual sale is coming.
It will change your life, and I learned a hack on TikTok.
Okay.
They will return anything, so keep your receipt, and after you're done with it, literally return it.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
I wish I had my receipts. I would totally do that. Next time, though. Next
time. All right. And I want to recommend a song.
Cool.
It's called Moonlight by Phantoms and Sarah Close.
I thought you were going to say by Ariana Grande. I was like, yes.
I mean, go check her out too if you've never even heard of Ariana Grande, or you need to go back and listen to Ariana Grande. Do it. She's good. Never a miss.
Never a miss.
Your recommendations?
Let's see. My first one is a television show on Amazon Prime. It's called The Wilds.
Oh.
It's about a group of girls They get into like a plane crash or something, and they end up on an island, and they have to like take care of each other. Really good show.
Nice.
10 out of 10 recommend. My second is the podcast My Favorite Murder. Love it. Listen to it all the time. My first podcast I've ever listened to. Thank
Really?
you. Thank you, Sabrina. It's because it was the first time we went to Disneyland. We were driving, and she was like, we were kind of tired of listening to music. And she was like, you want to listen to this podcast I listen to? And I was like, sure. And the first episode she played me was about this man who orchestrated his wife's murder and then did it terribly, because literally the next week he was caught in Las Vegas with his girlfriend playing blackjack with the funds that he made from her life insurance. It was great. Fell in love. Listen every week now. Listen. So yeah, everyone go listen to My Favorite Murder. Amazing podcast if you like true crime.
Yeah.
It's also a true crime comedy podcast. So like if you don't like comedy in your true crime, maybe don't listen. Yeah. But like that's my coping mechanism is comedy. So like yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for joining day 3 of Twilight.
Day 3 of Twilight Week. Oh goodness. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. We have a Twitter and an Instagram. They're both at SYTYI Podcast. If you have any questions to ask, any questions to answer, if you have any movie requests, you can
tell us what team you're on.
Yeah. And
defend it, please. If you're Team Edward, please defend it.
Please defend it, because I'm not seeing it.
Right. Please give us sources, book, movie.
Yeah, I'm open.
It as well.
I'm open to discussion.
So am I.
If you have like something to back it up. If you're just like, no, he loves her, I'm gonna be like,
I'm not buying that.
No.
If you say he's hot, I'm not buying that either.
Yeah. I need some concrete proof.
Right. I need this is my opening statement, and in this essay because I don't see it.
And also, if you agree with me that Derek Shepherd is trash, like send us an email. Because I need to find my people. Because everyone's all like, oh my gosh, I love Derek so much. I'm like, why? He's problematic is me being nice.
Yeah.
That man literally left her with 2 kids to go off, run around Washington, D.C., and then he kissed another one. I'm done. Share it with your family and your friends. Yeah, let me get off my pedestal.
Yeah, get down, please.
Don't forget to subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget to wear your mask.
Yes, wash it too.
And your hands.
Those too.
And stay iconic.
Stay iconic, y'all.
Okay, bye. I'm going to go eat some cookies.
Bye.